Hi everybody, I'm Kayla. Today we are going to talk about belly button piercings or navel piercings. I personally refer them to as navel piercings, and I believe most piercers do, but it's most commonly referred to as belly button piercing. The very first fact about the navel piercing is that it is the most popular surface piercing. Most people don't realize that the navel is a surface piercing. It is a surface piercing because it's basically just piercing any surface part of the body. It doesn't necessarily have a front and back, say like the earlobe does, or a top and bottom, or outside and inside like the nostril does. Because it is a surface piercing, it has very slow healing times. It can take from 6 months to a full year to heal, and if you run into problems, that can extend the healing period for even longer. It's important to plan ahead. If you think that you might want to have a belly button piercing during the summer, then you might want to try and get it pierced in the winter or fall. One of the reasons why it heals so slowly is that there's low blood flow there. Originally that area was the umbilical cord, but because the umbilical cord is cut, that is now scar tissue, so there isn't much blood flow in the area. Also, because it is a surface piercing, it is very common to reject or migrate out of the body while it's healing. Usually that happens if it's done improperly or if the body isn't suitable for the piercing. Like most piercings, your body has to have the correct shape to hold a belly button piercing. You have to have a really nice fold up under the belly button for it to sit comfortably. If you don't have a lot of fold, if your stomach is more flat, then it might not work. Weight does not matter when it comes to getting your belly button pierced. Like I said previously, it all depends on the shape and size of your belly button. Basically, it's just a matter of if your belly button can accommodate the piercing. Originally, the belly button piercing was pretty common between male and female. I've personally only done maybe pierced only one male belly button, but it used to be more common. Today, it is extremely more common for females to get their navels pierced. But I enjoy piercing both male and female. So if you're a male out there and you want your belly button pierced, you should do it. Most people get their belly button pierced because it helps motivate them to lose weight or get in shape, get fit, so that they can show it off. If you do decide to get your belly button pierced for motivation to exercise, just realize that exercise can shift your piercing. I haven't personally seen any cases, but I do know piercers who have seen cases of the belly button shifting a little bit while it's healing because of working out. Also, you want to make sure you're not wearing any tight clothing over that. I know a lot of yoga pants or workout pants kind of go up over the belly button, so try to avoid any really tight restrictive clothing on the belly button piercing. You want to wear things that are a little bit more loose, but be sure that your clothing is not getting tangled in your piercing because that can also irritate. If you have your belly button pierced and you're expecting a bun in the oven, I would recommend removing the jewelry because the body does expand and that area does stretch quite a bit. What you could do is replace it with a retainer. Usually they're long, flexible jewelry that will fit there to hold the piercing open if you're worried about it closing, or you can remove the jewelry altogether. Usually they stay open if you've had the piercing there for quite a few years. If not, you can always get it re-pierced later on. I think the best way to approach this situation is to consult with a piercer. Ask them what their opinion might be, and they'll steer you in the right direction. The belly button piercing is usually pierced with a 14 gauge curved barbell, which is something like this. Hopefully it's focusing. And this is the most common today to pierce with, something like that. Usually it's something a little bit longer so that you have room for healing. When the belly button piercing started becoming more popular, it was more commonly pierced with a captive bead ring, just a hoop with a ball in there. I don't have any on hand, but I can maybe show you a picture somewhere. The reason why I think the captive bead ring was more commonly used when it became popular was because if you watch the band Aerosmith's music video Crying, you can see a small quick clip of a girl getting her belly button pierced, and they insert a captive bead ring. After this music video came out, it was explosively more common for women to get their belly button pierced. The early 2000s pop singer Madonna was one of the first people to expose that she had her belly button pierced, and after that it was just extremely more common. Okay, I think that's all I have for belly button piercings. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and comment if you have any more tips on the belly button piercing that I didn't mention here. See you guys later. Bye!